Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pods. I am Leonardo.
Whoa! Good morning, students. And I'm Elizabeth.
Today, we are diving into something a little different, like really different.
Different good or different,
Oh, definitely different good. Today, we are exploring an essential topic for anyone looking to excel in English. Ever get that feeling like there's something huge we're all missing out on? Like something big is out there.
I think we all get that feeling sometimes.
What if I told you there could be entire universes beyond our own, each with their own laws of physics, their own forms of life, maybe even their own versions of us?
Okay, now that's a thought. We're going deep on that today.
We're diving into an article called, Is It Possible to Travel to Other Universes in the Future?
Sounds like a pretty wild ride.
We're going to unpack the science, the speculation. Can we actually reach these other realities? Is it even possible?
It's a question that's been around for a long time. Scientists have been pondering this. Writers have been writing about it.
For sure. And it seems like it's gaining even more traction now. But before we go too far, let's start with the basics. What are these other universes?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Like, are we talking about dimensions where I picked a different sandwich for lunch?
Maybe. One idea is that every single choice, every possible outcome, creates a split in reality. It's called the many worlds interpretation.
So there's a me out there who's a world-famous chef instead of a podcaster.
Could be, but that's just one idea. There are other theories, too.
Lay it on me. What other kinds of universes could be out there?
All right. Picture this. Our universe is a bubble, just floating in a much larger space.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Go on.
Inflation theory basically says that after the Big Bang, the universe expanded super fast.
Yeah.
And that expansion could have created tons of other bubble universes, each with its own unique, properties.
So like a giant cosmic bubble bath. Each bubble a separate universe.
You got it. And then there's string theory, which adds another layer. It says that our universe is like a sheet, a brain floating in a higher dimensional space.
Higher dimensions. We're already lost.
I know. But stick with me. Imagine other sheets, other universes floating nearby, maybe even bumping into ours in ways we can't even detect yet.
Okay, my brain is starting to hurt. But is there any evidence for these other universes? Or are we just talking theory here?
It's tough. It's pretty much impossible to directly observe another universe, with our current technology anyway. But there are scientists looking for clues. Indirect clues.
Like what? What kind of clues?
Well, some are studying the cosmic microwave background radiation, the faint afterglow of the Big Bang.
So they're looking way back in time.
Exactly. They're searching for anomalies in the data, patterns that could be a sign of our universe bumping into another one.
So like a cosmic fender bender?
Yeah, something like that, like finding a ripple in a pond and trying to figure out what caused it.
Okay, let's say we find that ripple, that proof. Could we actually get to one of these other universes? I mean, we're still figuring out how to get people to Mars.
Right. Getting to another universe, that's a whole other level of difficulty. The laws of physics might not even allow it, at least not as we understand them now.
So are we just teasing ourselves, finding these hints, but forever stuck in our own little bubble?
Well, not necessarily. There are some theoretical possibilities out there. They might sound a bit like science fiction, but one idea is wormholes.
Wormholes. Like those tunnels through space-time. I've seen those in movies. You fly into a swirling vortex, and bam, you're in another reality.
That's the Hollywood version. The math behind them is really interesting. But there's a catch.
Uh-oh. I bet there's a catch.
Wormholes probably need something called exotic matter to keep them open. We're talking matter with negative energy density, something we've never actually observed.
So we need a special ingredient that we don't even know exists, let alone how to make or control.
It's a pretty big hurdle. But hey, there's another option too. Maybe even weirder.
Bring on the weird. I'm ready.
Some physicists think that if we could figure out quantum mechanics well enough, we could actually tunnel through to another universe.
Quantum tunneling. That's where particles can basically teleport through walls, right?
You got it. It's one of the strangest things in quantum mechanics. Particles can kind of borrow energy from nowhere, from the void, to get past a barrier that should be impossible to pass.
So instead of climbing a mountain, we just disappear from one side and reappear on the other.
Exactly.
Okay, starting to see why people say the universe is stranger than fiction. But even if we figure all that out, wouldn't it take a crazy amount of energy to travel to another universe?
You're absolutely right. We're talking astronomical amounts of energy, way beyond what we can produce now. It'd be like trying to power a rocket ship with a AA battery.
Yeah, good luck with that. So it sounds like we're facing challenge after challenge here.
That's one way to put it. But, humans are pretty good at overcoming obstacles. We've done some pretty amazing things. Who knows what we'll be capable of in the future?
So there's hope, even if it's a long shot.
There's always hope. The pursuit of knowledge leads to all sorts of breakthroughs. And even if we never reach another universe, just thinking about these possibilities pushes science forward. It helps us understand our own universe better.
I like that. Thinking big, even if it seems impossible.
Exactly.
But before we get too carried away with the possibilities, let's talk about the risks. What if messing with other universes is dangerous? What if we accidentally, I don't know, rip a hole in reality or unleash some kind of cosmic horror on our own universe?
Those are valid concerns. It could be risky. There's a chance we could stumble into a universe that's just not compatible with ours, where the laws of physics are totally different.
So, like, what? We step into a universe where gravity works in reverse, and everything just floats away.
It could get pretty strange. Our matter might not even be stable in a universe like that.
So we could just, like, dissolve.
Yeah.
Or transform into something else entirely.
Potentially. And there's another danger, too. We might accidentally introduce something harmful into another universe.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Like bringing a virus to a new world.
Exactly. It could disrupt their ecosystem, their entire existence. We need to be very careful.
Yeah, we don't want to be the cosmic villains of the story.
Right. The ethical implications are huge.
We've only just scratched the surface here, and I'm already feeling overwhelmed. It's a lot to think about.
It definitely is. And there's so much more to explore.
We've talked about what these other universes might be like and how we might get there. But maybe the most interesting question is WHY? Why are we even thinking about this? What's driving us to explore other universes?
That's a great question. It's something we should definitely dive into.
Absolutely. We'll do that right after the break. We're back, and we're still lost in the multiverse. Before the break, we were talking about the HOW. How we might travel to another universe. But now I want to talk about the WHY. Why even bother?
It's a big question, isn't it?
It is. What drives us to even think about venturing into these other realities?
Well, humans are curious creatures, aren't we? We've always wanted to explore the unknown, push the boundaries.
That's true. Throughout history, people have risked their lives to explore new lands, to climb mountains, to sail across oceans.
Exactly. So why would space be any different? Why wouldn't we want to explore other universes if we could?
Right. And the possibilities are mind-blowing. Imagine discovering new forms of life. Life that evolved under completely different conditions than us.
It could change everything we know about biology, about consciousness, about our place in the cosmos.
It would be like opening a door to an infinite library of knowledge.
Exactly. A cosmic encyclopedia filled with secrets just waiting to be uncovered. And it's not just about biology. Imagine the technology we might find.
Oh, yeah. Civilizations that have figured out things we can't even imagine.
Maybe they've mastered energy sources we haven't even dreamt of, or technologies that let them manipulate space and time. The potential is huge.
It's like a cosmic treasure hunt. But instead of gold, we're looking for knowledge, for understanding.
I like that. And there's more to it than just the scientific stuff. There's a philosophical side too, maybe even a spiritual side.
Oh, how so?
Think about it. What if we find a universe with a completely different origin story? Different laws of physics.
So, like, our whole understanding of creation of the Big Bang could be wrong.
Maybe. It would challenge our beliefs, our religions, everything.
It would be like seeing a distorted reflection of our own universe.
Exactly. But that distortion could be valuable. It could help us see things in a new light. Maybe even find answers to questions we've been asking forever.
I like the way you think. But let's be real for a second. What if encountering other universes doesn't expand our minds? What if it just throws our worldview into total chaos?
It's possible. Imagine finding a universe where time flows backwards, or where consciousness is a fundamental property of matter. It could be a lot to handle.
Some people's heads might explode.
Maybe. But even if it's challenging, there's also a potential for incredible beauty and wonder in those kinds of discoveries.
I mean, the universe is already pretty amazing. Just look at the night sky.
Right, and discovering that there's even more out there, that our reality is just a tiny piece of something much bigger, that could be an incredible experience.
It could make all our problems here on Earth seem small.
Exactly. But let's not forget about those problems entirely. Is there any way interuniversal travel could actually benefit humanity? In a practical sense, I mean.
You mean besides just blowing our minds?
Right. What if another universe holds the solutions to our problems? What if they have clean energy or technologies for managing resources?
Like a cosmic escape hatch.
Maybe. It's a long shot for sure.
It sounds like we're back to dreaming of those cosmic escapes again. Stuck on Earth with our problems.
Not necessarily. Just thinking about these possibilities can ensnare us, make us more creative, more resourceful, more determined to find solutions.
So even if we never reach another universe, the journey itself could be worthwhile.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe the answers we're looking for are right here in our own universe. Maybe we just need to think outside the box a little bit.
I like that. Think big. Push the boundaries.
Exactly.
But we've barely scratched the surface of the multiverse, haven't we? There's so much more to explore.
There is, and some of it gets really wild.
Okay, I'm ready for wild. Bring it on. Back again for the final part of our deep dive into the multiverse. So far, we've talked about the science, the risks, and even some of the reasons WHY we might want to explore these other realities. But now I'm ready for the really out there stuff, the mind-bending possibilities.
All right, you asked for it. Let's get speculative. One idea that's been gaining traction is the simulation hypothesis.
Ooh, yeah, I've heard about this. It's the idea that our universe is actually a giant computer simulation, right?
Exactly. Just think about how far video games and simulations have come even in the last few decades. They're becoming so realistic.
I know. Sometimes it feels like we're already living in a simulation.
Right. So imagine a civilization advanced enough to create a simulation that's completely indistinguishable from reality.
We wouldn't even know we were in one.
Nope. It'd just be our reality.
Kind of freaky when you think about it. Like, what if we're all just characters in some advanced aliens video game?
It would definitely change our perspective. It would mean everything we know is basically just code.
And what about free will? If we're in a simulation, are our choices even real?
Now, there's a philosophical rabbit hole for you. It's a big question. Do we have control over our destiny? Or is everything predetermined by the program?
Whoa, okay, maybe we should move on before my brain belts. But sticking with the simulation idea for a sec, if our universe IS simulation, could we, like, hack it? Jump to a different one?
Now you're thinking like a true explorer. Some theorists think maybe we could, if we can find glitches in the simulation, like strange anomalies that don't fit with the laws of physics.
Those could be clues to the code.
Exactly. And if we crack the code, well, who knows what's possible?
Okay, let's switch gears before we get too deep into the Matrix. We were talking earlier about infinite versions of ourselves, you know, the many worlds interpretation.
Right, where every decision creates a split in reality. So there are countless universes where you made different choices.
So there's a universe where I actually finished writing that novel instead of just talking about it.
Could be. Or maybe there's one where you're an astronaut or a rock star.
Okay, now you're just messing with me. But seriously, if all those versions of ourselves exist, do our choices even matter?
Ooh, good question. It gets into the whole free will versus determinism debate. But I think even if there are infinite possibilities, our experiences still matter. The connections we make, the impact we have on the world, all those things are still real.
Even if they're happening in countless different ways across the multiverse.
Exactly.
All right, enough deep thinking for now. Let's talk about the weird stuff. If we could travel to another universe, what kind of crazy things might we see?
Oh, the possibilities are endless. The laws of physics could be totally different. Gravity could work in reverse. Time could flow backwards.
Whoa, hold on. Backwards time. So, like, we'd get younger as time went on.
It could get pretty strange.
But could our bodies even handle that? Being in a universe with completely different physics.
That's a good question. Our matter might not be stable. We could end up dissolving or transforming into something completely different.
Okay, maybe backwards time isn't so appealing now. What about alien life? I mean, with infinite universes out there, the odds of finding other life forms got to be pretty high, right?
Definitely. And they could be anything. We might find life that's similar to us, maybe even descended from a common ancestor. Or we might find life that's so alien it's beyond our comprehension.
Like creatures made of pure energy. Or beings that exist in multiple dimensions at once.
Now you're getting it. And maybe, just maybe, we'd encounter another intelligent civilization. One that's developed its own technology, its own culture, its own way of understanding the universe.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
But also a little scary, right? How would we even communicate?
It would definitely be a challenge, and we need to approach them with a lot of caution and respect.
Yeah, we don't want to start any intergalactic wars.
Right. It would be a huge test for humanity. Could we handle contact with another intelligent species? Could we learn from each other?
Big questions.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we're out of time to answer them today.
I know, we've barely scratched the surface of the multiverse.
But it's been an amazing journey. We've talked about mind-bending science, wild speculations, and even some of the ethical dilemmas of exploring other universes.
It's enough to make anyone question everything they thought they knew about reality.
That's for sure. So what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this deep dive?
I think the most important thing is to remember that the universe, or maybe I should say the multiverse, is far more vast and mysterious than we can imagine. We're just starting to understand our own little corner of it.
So there's still so much out there to discover.
Absolutely. And even if we never actually reach another universe, just thinking about these possibilities can inspire us to learn more, to push the boundaries of science, to never stop exploring.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the multiverse. Thanks for joining us.